Hi, I'm Diane Ponder, and I'm showing at the Montserrat Contemporary Art Gallery. This is my work. I do a lot of live painting from the model, and I also work in plein air, drawing scenery and then abstracting it. These works were done a few years ago, but I continue on with figuration, and also I have one that's more recent, which is it's on a coffee filter, and this series is one of my more eco-friendly, non-toxic material series, and they're in a circle, which is very lightweight. And also, since it's a coffee filter, it's good for people who are environmentally conscious of reuse and upcycle of materials. I like to bring architecture and people together because the architecture influences how people live and the people influence the architecture. And there's this constant push-pull between the design and the life. Is that good or more? These are primarily acrylic, and there's also some oil, some pastels, acrylic medium, and they're on, most of them are on canvas or linen. I've shown with the gallery a few times, and I originate in Chicago, so it's always a treat coming to visit New York and be part of the event. I show all over the world, and I show with a variety of spaces and art fairs. I have an art fair coming up in New York, and I also do art fairs and gallery shows in Miami, London, Chicago. I've done shows in India, and I've had people buy art from all around the world, sometimes on the internet. And it's a great pleasure to keep experimenting, trying different brushes, and having conversations with people and getting their response to my artwork. It's a kind of a social networking thing as well, to bring people some emotion, heart, familiarity, and yet a new view on things. This painting is concerned with the nature and the highway. When we're on the roads, it's kind of an abstract concept of the freeway and the curves, the exits, ramps, and the space between the roads. There's flowers, sometimes wildflowers that pop up, and other times it's things that the highway plants. But there's always a little back and forth between the concrete jungle and the actual almost jungle. It's acrylic medium with underlayment of the acrylic medium, and then on top there's oil and oil stick and pastel for the colors, which represent the flowers popping up through the variety of the freeway. And this one is about a boat that's out on the water. It also has the acrylic medium, a lot of texture underneath, with some drawing and coloring on top to add gesture and form, additional forms. So there's like one kind of form that's basically the texture, and then on top of it is this kind of more subtle color. And depending on how close you stand next to it, as someone was just mentioning to me, you get a very different feeling for the painting. You get more caught up in the texture as you're closer, and as you're farther away, it becomes more of a unified piece. It's a sailboat, but you could also interpret it in a lot of other ways. It's a more abstract piece that you can talk about it in different ways, but it's definitely the presence of human beings on the water. This is from a slightly older period of my artwork. I do a lot of live figure model drawing. This one is canvas that I brought into the studio. It's a group life drawing session, and the model is laying on a platform, and there's some fabric, and then I'm kind of playing with the geometry with the color again, kind of creating corners and different planes. And also the figure, it's called crossing, and because the ankles are crossed and the hands are crossed across each other. And it's acrylic, I believe. And there is some subtle shading that shows some of the background as well. This one is very recent. This is the one that I was mentioning that's on a coffee filter, and it's a pussycat. It's very gentle shading of dry pigment on it. There's some staining from the coffee filter being used as a coffee filter prior to painting it. And then there's a needlepoint hoop that's the frame. It's very lightweight, easy to ship, and easy to display. And this one is another live multiples. The multiples were actually different positions with the same model from the same time. And as you can see, it's a little ambiguous whether this is the same person, but there's a kind of a choreographed element to this one. And then there's this energy between them, between the different positions, that's shown by the different brush strokes of color, almost as in cubism. And this is primarily acrylic as well. And I worked on it at first, mostly black and white, and then as I went to the color, I was without the model, and so I was more abstracting everything. Well, thank you very much for listening to my discussion, and hopefully if I hear any questions or thoughts, then you can respond to me. Thank you.